diving in a little bit more.
And then you'll cut me off?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take it. All right. So here's what we'll go through, guys. Typical process. We'll go through the standard process. Well, kind of at the end, we'll talk about the websites, which we'll put up on the screen. Commission level splits between yourself and your agents, if you will, or your teammates. We'll talk about prosperity, a brief conversation about Slack, E&O. For some reason, there's a lot of people forgetting that they need to get E&O from our new people. Quick conversation about boot camp, AML, and then work spots. So Kaylee, if you have any questions at all, just say back up, slow down, rewind, I don't understand. It's kind of the usual suspects on here, people that are either just getting started or people that are recruiting. So they want to make sure that the process is in order. So this will be great for you. In the email, guys, this goes out to all the new candidates. If you need this, just Slack Amy and I will email this out to you. Please, when you have your new candidate starting, just tell them to read through this. Amy, I can't tell you guys how many messages I get, some, but Amy gets the majority of them, where people, they would just look at this. I mean, they would just look at it and go through it. It would make this so much easier on yourself. I mean, it really would. So we're here to help, but at the same time, if you guys want if you're trying to get through the process quicker, just read through it. I mean, it's just that simple.
That would be new licensed candidates get that.
Right.
Not all new ones. That would confuse somebody that was not licensed.
Okay, I apologize. Anyway, I apologize for that. Thank you. I know you keep me straight here.
What I do.
I appreciate it. If anyone is interested in recruiting, what's her name? Savannah finally got back with me. So now I'm just waiting for her to see what ads that we can post. I feel like a broken record, but I'm waiting to hear back from her. We finally have access codes and that kind of stuff, but just see if they have any approved ads. I've written some, but if they have some that are working for other people, it'll be easier just to post those and everything else. So you guys will not be billed until those get started. So if you want to post an ad on ZipRecruiter for recruiting, all you have to do is just let me know what the city is. It's $50 per month. I'll send the invoice out to you guys via PayPal, so everything's kept secure and safe, and you have a print off of that when you pay it, and that way you have that for your records, so you can write that off if you will. Okay, let's see. Go through my checklist here. In reference to AML, this one's easy to go over. So AML stands for anti-money laundering. When you get started here, just to keep things simple, you can do whatever you want from that perspective. But the easiest way to get through the AML process is when you go through prosperity. In most cases, you're going to get prosperity in about 24 to 48 hours if you don't have anything in your background. You simply go on to prosperity or go through the link that will be sent to you by your business partner, go through all the information, complete their AML. I've gone through it. I didn't have to, but I went ahead and went through it. Amy went through it. WebCE does a great job with their stuff. To be completely honest with you guys, I didn't even read the information and I got a 90. We had another agent yesterday that did not do their AML. Then they went through and they took care of it within a matter of a few minutes. They had to submit it for a carrier. So you're going to have to do it for prosperity. But if you, how do I say this? You'll have to do it for prosperity, but the WebCE one is pretty much recognized every place else. Amy, anything you'd add there?
No.
Okay. It does cost. The rest of them are free, but if you use LimRun, any of the other ones, it's kind of dicey if they're going to be able to, if they get it or not. Okay. That's anti-money laundering. All right. We got somebody else chiming in here. All right. Any questions about that as we move through? Beautiful. Let's see. HCMS. There are a few carriers. Amy, I'm going to lean on you for this one because I want to make sure I get this right. I'll probably just have you tell me. I know we have, because I've given misinformation, I know for a fact that I have. On HCMS, guys, I can tell you here probably sometime in the near future, I'm not speaking it to existence, but I'm sure it's going to happen. Sometime here in the near future, if your people are not in HCMS, your teammates, you're not going to get paid because there's no way to connect you 100% to the home office server back in Connecticut, okay? When a new agent comes on and they start getting agent codes, make sure that they're getting their information entered in there. It's very simple. We have videos on our website, fflgenesis.com. You can look, some of the videos are 40 seconds long. Go in there, watch the video, or ask for help if you need it. The carriers that have to be put in there by Amy, and Amy, let me know if I get these wrong, but the carriers that have to be put in there by Amy are Prosperity, correct? Prosperity, CFG, Royal Neighbors, Liberty, whenever we get them, UHL, and Gerber. Those are pretty much the ones that have to be put in by you. So when you get those agent codes, guys, this is kind of a new wrinkle for those of you guys that have been on for a while. But when your new agents get those codes, just have them Slack Amy and myself, and we'll make sure that they get into HCMS. We want to make sure you guys get paid and your people are connected to you. Did I miss one, Amy?
No,
Yes.
I mean, they're always, things are always changing, being added, but right now, I think those are the main ones. It's pretty much the ones where you have to write a paper app first, and then Prosperity.
Right. Very good. Okay. Any questions by anybody new or anybody that's obviously attends these every single week? Any questions there? Okay. Very good. I'll keep moving. So let's cover Prosperity. This will be great for some of the newbies as well. So let me put this up here on my screen. Let me go to Prosperity. There it is. Okay, so two things here. Prosperity. I always have this stuff pulled up and it just decides to flip back on its own. Here we go. All right, let me share my screen with you guys. Okay. And here we go. Okay. So I'm going to keep this very simple as I possibly can. The link up top, the insurance admin, that's the website that you'll go to. That's the one that you'll get from your business partner. And then we have the steps here. If you want these steps, simply Slack Amy and I, and one of us will email this out to you so you have it. Okay. You're simply going to follow all 7 of these steps to get yourself set up with Prosperity. Now, once you start having teammates, this is what you're going to have to do to get this set up so that you can get your commission levels or your comp levels set up. Okay, so I'm just going to use 135% comp level just for illustration. If you are at 135% comp level and you bring somebody in at 125, the links that you will create is the link that you will send to your agents or your new teammates. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here in a second. Now, here's how this works. Let's say at the 135% tier. If your FFL comp is 135, the maximum that Prosperity is going to pay is 120. Does anybody have any questions about that? So your FFL comp is equivalent to 120% with Prosperity. Okay. Your 6.75%, because these are whole life policies. So you're going to get, when they pay their 13th month, you're going to get 6.75% of the annualized premium. That's year 2 through 5. Year 6 through 10, you're going to get 3.75% every year when they pay. They're going to advance you 9 months commission at a time, or 75% of the year. And the max advance that you'll get is $3,000. So here's what I mean by that. If your commission amount is supposed to be $5,000, the max they're going to advance you is $3,000. And they're going to, as your client continues to pay, when it exceeds that $3,000 that they've already advanced you, they will start advancing you the rest of the money, the rest of your earned commission. Does that make sense to everyone? Anyone?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey,
So,
could you throw in there that's per application?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Yep.
Tim. Glad you're here, my friend. All right. So as we continue to go through, that's a great point, though. As we continue to go through, just you can look at the specific compensation, the FFL comp, and you can see what the equivalent is for Prosperity. Okay. By the way, guys, this works just like this. If I were to show you compensation, it works exactly like this across the board. Okay. The only thing that makes this different is Prosperity is kind of their own animal, and they're not connected to any of our external or internal systems, if you will, kind of like some of the other carriers are. Okay. So now let's take a visit here at Prosperity. I'm simply going to log in. And these would be the exact same steps, if you will, that you would follow based on the grid that I just showed you, which we're happy to send out to you. So at the top left-hand portion of the screen, the instructions will take you through. You're going to go to invite codes. Now, I want to be very clear because I know we have somebody that just got licensed and they're new here. This is what you're going to do when you have new recruits, okay? What's going to be sent to you from either Mark or Tim, what's going to be sent to you is a code that you'll click on and just follow the steps to get yourself set up. That is self-explanatory. And you'll also have to complete the anti-money laundering, or also known as AML. All right, so I'm going to flip back now. I'm going to click on invitation codes. And when I click on that, what it's basically going to do is your screen will be blank, except for this information down here at the bottom. All right, so we're going to go New Vista, okay? And it's going to show you all the different levels. And let me see if I can get this to work here. Put my iPad skills to work here. Okay. So again, where you see New Vista, if you just follow back and forth on the, on the example that Amy and I put together, it'll walk you through the process. So New Vista, you can see the equivalents here. So let's say if you're at 100%, and I'm on the right-hand side of the screen, 100% FFL comp is equivalent to Prosperity 85. So I'm going to click the 85. And if you look at the 100% over here on Prosperity, you'll see that the 100% with FFL and the 85 with Prosperity, you can see the second tier is 5%. The third tier is, where'd it go? 2%. And you can see it on here on the left-hand side, 85% first year, year 2 through 5, 5%, and then year 6 through 10. Prime term, we don't use it. So you can go ahead and look up what we have over here on line 5. It says 90%, and you can see the residuals there. And then you can see where it says advanced level, again, on line number 6. It automatically defaulted to 9 months at settle, which is what you want. Some of you guys, depends on where you're at, might see a 3,500. Just click the 3,000. That's the maximum you're going to be advanced. And then last but certainly not least, you're going to see where it says in the vested option. In the vested option, it's going to say sub-agent is always fully vested. You do have several other options, but we are fortunate enough that we do not have to wait on getting our renewals. We're vested from day one. Now, here's the last portion of this. Because we did the 85% is equivalent to 100% with FFL. What you're going to put here is FFL 100%. Okay. If I clicked the generate code button, remember this is 100%. This is what it's going to create. So I'm going to try to take it right up to the edge of the screen here. Right at the top portion of the screen, top of the screen, where it says code. There we go. You can see that says 100%. So FFL 100%, if you look on up right to the right of it, it says New Vista, that's 85%, 5% and 2%, so everything matches. Next tier over, advanced 9 months, which is with the maximum of 3,000 at settle. That means when they're settling up your payment to send it out to your commission. As Tim mentioned, and I'll give you guys an example of this. You go out and you help a family this morning, and your compensation is, your commission is $5,000. The maximum they're going to pay you at that one time is $3,000. But let's say later on this evening, you go out and you help another person with Prosperity, and it's another $5,000. They're going to issue you another $3,000. So it's per policy sold. Once you have somebody on your team that you're going to send this code to, after you've built your codes, you're simply going to either click on the green button there in that 4th tier, and that's going to give you a link to send to your new teammate, or you can click the blue button and just email it to them. Everybody good with Prosperity? All right, perfect. So in reference to, let's call it E&O. So what I'm going to do is go to the Genesis website. and I'm going to go to the recruiting website. The recruiting website is simply joinfflgenesis.com. You guys can see that up in our URL. Just to take a couple seconds here, you can send this information. If somebody says, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing, you can send this link to them. It'll give them a quick synopsis of what we do, how we do it. That way you don't have to try to over or under explain it. You can also create your own code, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. Term, whole life, universal, annuities. Looks like we'll be adding med sub to this here in the next few months. How we do it, compensation. A lot of these videos and stuff, you guys are on YouTube. Virtual sales process for those of you guys that want to do telesales or do Zoom or sell over the phone. This is a huge deal for you. We have our podcast, if you will, which we'll be getting some of these updated here soon. And then join the team. So when we click join the team, they're simply going to put their name in, their email, their message. And all they have to do is put your name in there, and we'll make sure the recruit gets to you. Guys, I'm happy to do every interview that comes through this place to help you onboard. I don't think there's one interview that anybody has asked me to do that I haven't done. And I will continue to do that to help you build your team. Anybody have any questions about the recruiting website? All right, you guys are sleepy this morning. I love it. All right. So in reference to the FFL Genesis website, we're starting to get a lot more questions about that. I know last week alone, this week, I've had several questions about E&O. Sorry for swiping so much, but I wanted to just get down here to the site. Really quickly, since we're sliding by it, 8CMS, this is what I was talking about a few minutes ago. If you have questions on how to do things on 8CMS, this is a great resource place to go. You're trying to add your writing numbers in there on that video on the top right-hand corner, edit agent writing numbers. It's literally a 42-second video. So if you have a question about how to do that, again, just reach out to one of us, or preferably go onto the site and watch the video first. Again, the agent codes that you'll have to send to Amy and I, really Amy, to get entered into the system, Prosperity, CFG, Royal Neighbors, Liberty Bankers, whenever we get them, UHL and Gerber. We'll say those every week until they just get ingrained in people's heads. Okay, so back to our E&O. Right in the center of the screen, 360 coverage pros. I'm not going to say any names because it's not necessary, but we had somebody that was having an issue getting E&O every place else. They came right on here to this one and immediately got it. So it's quick, it's easy, it's very inexpensive. And you'll have it done with a matter of a few minutes. A quick pro tip here: when you get your E&O coverage, say if you have an iPad or if you're doing your stuff on a laptop, save it, because I don't know, you're either going to have to call back to 360 or whatever the case is if you need to get a copy of that later. So save that just in case you need it. And trust me, there's going to be times you're going to have to resubmit that or send it someplace. And if you don't have it, you're going to have to buy it again or go through that rat race. So just save yourself the headache.
Also, to interrupt, sorry.
No, you're good.
When you are going through HCMS to set up your profile as a new agent, this is required. So I don't know how anybody would miss this, because this is one of the steps in Insurance Bay to complete the profile.
Mm-hmm.
That is all.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. All right. Anybody have any more questions there? Perfect. So while we're here, I'm just going to keep moving through. Let me slide back down the page. Just make this a lot easier here. Go ahead and cover this while we're here. Boot camp. So when somebody gets started, especially once they've completed their material and they're waiting to take their test or whatever the reason or whatever's going on, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you go through boot camp. I know Tim and I talk about this all the time. Mark, if you're not, it's very apparent when new people start, if they haven't gone through boot camp, it's going to answer about 50% of the questions you have. Not only that, if you get it finished in, I think it's 2 weeks, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever it is, you get it finished in that time, you'll get 30% off your first lead order. So it's worth it to get it done. And it's only going to help you, especially help your new teammates. And then there's the 20K boot camp. I won't go too far into that, but if your team does 150,000 a month, or you write 20,000 a month, you get this 20K boot camp, and it's actually pretty good. I've gone through it a couple times, just so for the new people that are on here, or that maybe some of us that haven't gone through boot camp. It's very simple. You come out here, you log into it, and it's going to take you from everything from buying your first set of leads all the way to what to do post-sale and resolving every lead. Pretty simple stuff. All right. I can ask you guys if you guys have any questions about that, because it's pretty simple. New thing added to the website about a month or so ago now, state license requirements. So if somebody is licensed in one state and they want to get non-resident in another, this walks you through, has all 50 states on here. Pretty simple stuff. Again, we put all this out here. Your leadership team and Amy put all this stuff out here to try to make things simple for you. In reference to creating your own recruiting link, I'm just clicking on where it says IMO there, deal on the left-hand side, excuse me. Put your first name, last name, email, phone number. And when you do that, you're going to hit submit. It's going to send you a link. Okay. The link that is going to be sent to you, right where you see on our page where it says view our opportunity. When I click on that, you can see at the top, it says Corey Williams invites you to learn about, and then obviously it goes to the information. But this is simply the Rogue IMO video. But the cool part about this is if your new potential teammate comes out here and they put their first name, last name, state, email, phone number, and hit submit, it's going to send a video to them, but it's also going to notify you that your new potential teammate has started watching the video, or at least put the information in to watch the video. So that prompts you that you can call them in 20 minutes or whatever you have set up with it. Any questions there? I know some of you guys use this, some of you don't, but just want to let you guys know of all your resources. All right, the onboarding form. This has gotten a lot better for sure. But we have a system, guys, so it's pretty apparent when if we have people come on and we don't know, Amy and I will talk on a weekly or daily basis about new people coming on, because we do have a lot of new people coming on, which is great. But we need to keep the system intact. That way we can help people and help them get through the process quicker and start helping families and writing business, right? So when somebody comes on, I know it seems rudimentary, but one of the first things, the first thing you have to do once you've shaken hands with them and they say, yes, I'm ready to rock and roll, is come out here and put their information in. Their first name, their middle name, any place you see an asterisk is needed information. First name, middle name, last name, date of birth, street, city, state, zip code. Please don't use abbreviations. Their phone number, their email, and if they're licensed or not. We're going to cover that here in a second. They get one set of information if they're licensed and another one if they're not. Their primary state, that's the state that they're going to be, their primary state they're selling in. So if you're in Missouri and you're on the border and you live next to Illinois and you can very easily get over there and you want to sell in Illinois, you'd have to get what's called a non-resident license. Their NPN is their national producer number, which is usually on the license. If it is a state that does not have an NPN, just use the license number that's on there. If there's a letter or something like that in front of it, just go ahead and put the letter on there. Amy knows which ones we'll have to put in the letter, which ones we don't. Just please put it on there. The reason we need their national producer number off of their license is that's how Amy gets you set up, gets people set up with HCMS, which connects to your agents, to you, and to home office, just so you know. You're going to put what compensation level that you're going to pay your agent, or they're going to pay themselves, really. And then last but certainly not least, your full name and not just your first name, please, your full name, because at some point I'm sure there's going to be 2 Tims or 2 Corys or 2 Marks or whatever, 2 Renees, etc. Full name, your phone number, email address, and then your compensation level. I know you guys are probably like, okay, we can read, we can do this, but I can't. I'm telling you, this stuff gets messed up on a daily basis. That's why we go through it. Anybody have any questions about this? All right. So here's kind of a rule of thumb in reference to compensation. If you're going to buy leads to help your agent get started and all that, it's pretty kosher to go 15, 20% spread between you and your teammate. Okay. Just kind of what we've adopted. After they've sold their first 10 grand, you can bump them 5 if you've started them at 20% spread. And after they sell their first 25,000, it's kind of kosher to bump them up. So there's about a 10% split between you and your agent. Okay. If you're not going to buy them leads and you're not going to spend a whole lot of time with them, 10 to 15%, I think is kosher. And then they can move themselves up the ladder as they see fit, in reference to how much premium they write. Anything leadership would add to that or take away from that?
No, it's good.
Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
I agree with everything you said. That's all I'm doing.
Okay. Perfect, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah. And that way we're all kind of doing the same thing. And I know we think we won't have animosity, and I don't think we've had much, if any at all, in the last year that we've been a team. But the more we solidify things and keep things the same across the board, it just reduces timidity and some of the fear of being screwed over, because a lot of companies don't do that. They're not upfront about, what they do. I think that hurts them, in my opinion. But I have no problem telling somebody what my compensation level is, because it's on the board for everybody. And most of you guys know anyway, and I don't care. So it is what it is. All right. So that's pretty much from a website standpoint, where you're going to spend the majority of your time getting set up, especially if you're new or if you're starting to bring people on. These are the steps that you'll have to go through. Again, we host this meeting every single week to keep everybody on the same page of what we're doing, so we know what we're doing as a team. One of the last things that I'll bring up before we go through the full process here, we're whipping through this pretty quick, is work spots. Mark's finally got his office set up for work spots down there. So congratulations to Mark. We have an office here in St. Louis, and there's 200 plus offices across the country. Work spots is $99 a month. And what that allows you to do is go to any office across the country. Let me find this really quick. Allows you to go to any office across the country, be a part of their dial days, their trainings, all that kinds of stuff. Water, snacks, coffee, tea, blah, 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 right? But what it also does is provide you discounts on leads. I know there was just another discount that just came out for 30% off, and I was able to buy, I think I bought $400 worth of leads just the other day for dialing session for Monday. So it's pretty cool. Also provides discounts at Home Depot, Best Buy, and there's a lot of other things that it provides. Our office is even doing, if we can ever get the printer working, we're going to be doing prints for people that are part of work spots in the St. Louis office. They get so many copies a month. So I don't know if you guys have ever went and had to print anything. It's not a cheap process. It just seems to be getting more and more expensive every day. So they get anywhere between 150, 200 copies a month, so they can print their leads off. And that's all a part of work spots, which is $99. They just announced a couple weeks ago, this last time I'll bring this up, but Enterprise Rental Car and National, 50% off rentals because you're part of work spots. So if you're buying leads off the CRM or you're going to an office or something like that, it's highly, highly recommended that you use work spots. Completely up to you, but you don't have to.
Corey, can I just make a comment about that?
100% can. Please do.
From personal experience, nobody gets 50% off rentals except for the really big corporate accounts. So Sean Mike really had some success here to be able to get us 50% off a rental. And then they're also waiving the young driver fees, which are normally 20 to 25 bucks a day. So that it truly is, that's worth it all on its own.
What I thought was crazy, just because I've rented a zillion cars, damage insurance is included. That's nuts. That was what stuck out with me more than anything else, because I'm double the age of 24 almost, being able to bypass the counter, which I know is a big national thing, but not having to pay for, I mean, that's nuts. I've never seen a discount that deep. And I've been renting cars from Enterprise for years, and I've never gotten a discount like that. So there's all kinds of other perks. I'm not trying to sell it. We just want you guys to know what's available to you as well. So it's kind of nice. All right. So we covered.
Oh, sorry. Hey, sorry. Question about the rental. Do we have to just go up and do we show them like our work spot? Like,
That's a great question. So I haven't done it, but I did try to go through the system a few weeks ago just to try it, because I've got a couple things that I'm going to be going to here soon. And it doesn't take, I have a couple business debit cards. It wants a credit card. And then you go through the system, you put your credit card information there. So you do need to go in ahead of time and fill all the information out. But the only big thing that the system really wanted is it couldn't be a debit card. It had to be a credit card. So you have to go in ahead of time and set it up, and it's going to give you a number, and then you can rent the car.
So you gotta, I just did this myself. And for those of you that don't know, I used to work there. So basically, when you click on the WorkSpots link, it'll take you to the registration page on nationalcar.com. If you don't already have a national account, you need to create one. And then, like Corey said, add that credit card. They'll close your account if you take the credit card off your file. You won't be able to rent. But you got to go through the link on the WorkSpots discount page, and it automatically populates the discount code onto your profile.
Thank you, Renee. Now, because I have an enterprise account already, but it doesn't give me near that kind of discount. That's the reason I went through the process to see if the price was different. So yeah, it's not a complicated situation at all. You just have to go through their system, through the link. And you can get that through the WorkSpots app, by the way. So pretty cool. So we've covered the websites, the recruiting website, our regular FFL Genesis website. Again, the recruiting website is simply join FFL Genesis. The site that you'll use in the field on a daily basis is, for those of you guys that use it, is fflgenesis.com. We've covered the comp levels, 15-20% spread between you and your new agent. I don't go any higher than, again, 15-20% split, just to be kosher, and that's if you're going to be buying them leads. We talked about prosperity, E&O, boot camp, AML, WorkSpots. And the last thing that I want to mention is Slack. You know what? This is worth talking about here. So, two things. Actually, I'm going to do this in reverse. Hopefully you guys can, let's see here. Let me cover this really quick. Hopefully you guys don't mind. I should probably do this every week anyway. So just so that we're clear, when someone starts, I'll make this very quick. When somebody starts out, the commission level is 90%. If that's where you start your person at. I don't think we have anyone here that's at 90% commission. I don't think anyway, not that I've seen, which is a good thing, okay? But let's just say for illustration purposes, you start at 90% comp. On the left-hand side, this is called the producer contract, okay? When you write and issue pay, 5,000, 2 months in a row, you're gonna go from 90 to 95%. No one can stop you from doing that, okay? If in the next 2 months, you do 10,000 issue pay 2 months in a row, you go from 95 to 100%. No one can stop you from doing that. So let's say your 4th month in, you start recruiting a couple people, and you got yourself and 4 or 5 people writing, and you guys write 75,000 that month issue paid. You're going to go from 100 to 105, or yeah, from 100 to 105. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, perfect. I'm going to accept your silences. I should probably ask that question a little bit differently. But here's the deal. Just so you guys understand, the left-hand side, you have to do 2 months in a row, issue paid, to move up a level. Once you obtain a level, you never go backwards. So once you get 110, 115, 120, 125, 130, etc., once you hit that level, you never go back, okay? The right-hand side, what's considered the builder's contract, all you have to do is hit that once. So once you hit that level one time, issue pay premium, you move up. Now, I did confirm this the other day, which I thought was pretty incredible. You're at 90%. Let's say you came from another company, or not even another insurance company. Let's say you came from someplace else, you came here, and you've got, friends or whatever that you guys have worked together, and they see the, kind of the vision here, and they come here with you. You just got started out, you're at 90, or let's call it 100% comp, and you bring those people on, and the very next month, you guys write 100,000, you're going to go from 100% all the way up to 110. You do not have to level up each level. If you jump a level, so be it, which I think is pretty fantastic. But again, in a nutshell, producer contract, 2 months in a row, builder's contract, one time, and once you hit it, you move up. Okay, hopefully that's clear to everybody. If not, please raise your hand or say, I got a question, or whatever the case is, okay? Now, that being said, the different levels, the first level of leadership here is a sales manager. Sales manager, that's 50,000 issue paid in a month. You become a sales manager. The only caveat to that is 25, really 50%, or 25,000 max from your own personal production. They want to make sure you're building a team, not a team of one, right? The next level is senior sales manager, and that's 100,000 issue paid in a month. So when you do that, again, cannot be any more than $50,000 max. And believe it or not, there's people that do that. Can't be any more than 50,000. All right, I'm going to speed up now. When you hit 150,000 in a month, issue paid, you're a vice president. 300,000, senior vice president. 500,000 issue pay, executive VP. $1 million a month is board member. $2 million a month is senior board member, and $3 million a month is executive board member. Okay. Again, once you hit a level, you never go back. And again, I'm happy to send all this stuff out to you guys, but this is actually on our YouTube page as well. And I probably need to update it just because of this thing here. So we literally just got our hands on this yesterday. I think I sent it out to the leadership, but I don't even know where it came from, but I saw it and immediately copied it and sent it out to our leadership team. I'm not going to cover this whole thing because this could take about 20 or 30 minutes to go over. It's not complicated, but once you hit VP, vice president, that's 150,000 issue paid. The first time you do that, you become a VP. Okay. Before, these were tiered. What I mean by that is Americo was 100%. I think Aetna, I don't think Aetna was even on there before, but I'm sure it was probably 75. Moo was 75 for sure. John Hancock may have even been 50. Here's what I mean by that. If you wrote $100,000 this month and it was all Americo business, you would get 100% credit for that towards your bonus. Now let's call Aetna. Let's say Aetna was 75%. Let's say it used to be 75%. If you wrote $100,000 with Aetna, towards your bonus, only 75,000 of that would have counted towards your bonus. Now it's 100%. So essentially, all of our primary or main carriers, you're going to get 100% credit. So for every dollar that's written with those carriers, you're going to get 100% credit for that. It's pretty incredible. That's probably the coolest bonus I've ever seen, ever. So pretty much all your premium written with all of our primary carriers, you're going to get 100% credit. So if you write 100% issue paid in a month, you're going to get a minimum of a $2,500 bonus for that month. And the more you write, the bigger your bonus is. Most companies do it backwards. The more you write, the smaller it gets. Think of 7% on the, I'm on the right-hand side, guys. I just want to put this where you can read it. Think of, we don't have to go that high, 2.75% of $500,000. You do the math. That's just bonus for building a team. So if you're on here and you're considering building a team, this is why you want to start, and you want to start quick. And it says down in here at the bottom, the minimum bonus amount the VP can earn is $2,500. It used to be $1,250. So they literally doubled it. And that's Sean doing that, which is pretty awesome.
So before we go through Slack, Corey?
I can. Yeah, I can. Yep. I don't want to cause any headaches for anybody and people start asking questions about stuff that they're not really trying to do. But I will definitely I'll send it out to you, Renee, or anybody else that wants it on here. All right. Any other questions, guys? We are almost done here. Amy, anything?
Nope.
Okay. Make sure you didn't get run off by the dogs. So, Chrissy, I don't know if I say good morning to you, but I see you driving, so I'm going to say it again. All right. Okay, guys, so we're going to go through the process here, and then we'll let you guys go. Keep in mind, don't forget this, the form here. Pull that out of the way, that Amy sends out to licensed agents, right, Amy? That's right. I got it right for once. Okay. So once you talk to someone, they say, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I want to move forward. I want to join the team. You're going to go and you're going to fill out that onboarding form that I just showed you guys on the Genesis page. You're going to fill out that onboarding form, and all the information that you're going to put on there is going to tell Amy and I if that person is licensed or not. So if they are not licensed, a non-licensed person, in that email, if they just make sure you tell them to follow the steps. They're going to follow the steps through that process, and what they're going to do is they're going to go on. They're going to click on the thing from Excel. They're going to go through the steps. What I do when I'm on with people, I literally put it on the screen and walk through the process, walk through the steps with them. So it's not the first time they're seeing it. You're going to save yourself a phone call. Trust me. And then they're going to go through, fill out all the information. The discount code's going to be in there, and then they're going to go from there. Now, you guys run your business however you see fit. I'm telling you guys, and I know some of the people that are here in leadership, they get sick of me saying, give them 2 weeks, because anything outside of 2 weeks, they're not coming. It's just that simple. If they were going to start someplace where I know they were going to be making a paycheck or a salary or whatever the case is, you'd have 2 weeks at your current job to leave there and come to this one. So give them 2 weeks. It's just that simple. And then from there, if you guys have any questions about that, we can cover that later, but give them 2 weeks. Any questions about that on a non-licensed person? Perfect. If they are licensed, you're going to go through, complete the same onboarding form, but you're going to put their NPN, which is from their license, right? National producer number. And then from there, you're going to send all the information off the sheet. You're just going to simply fill it out, send it in. You're going to get a PDF. So you have all of your new agent's information. We'll move forward from there. Now, the licensed agent is going to get a different welcome email. Again, it's going to have the onboarding stuff on there. We highly, highly, highly recommend that you have your agent read through that. They just go through it step by step. It's going to make this a much easier world for all of us. Most people don't. I don't know why they skip around or they don't read it or whatever the case is, but it's pretty obvious. So what's going to happen is Amy is going to have put them into 8CMS. They're going to get that email from 8CMS. They're going to put all their information in there. They're going to get a second email from 8CMS letting them know that they've done that and welcome them. And then the third email that they're going to get from 8CMS is going to be it's going to send them to Surance Bay. Okay, this is where things get a little confusing. Amy, jump in at any time. On Surance Bay, you're going to have all these carriers on Surance Bay. Okay, we say this every week, and then new people come on and they go on and they just run down the list. The only carriers that they need to apply for, even though there's going to be a bunch of other ones on there, is Americo, AIG, John Hancock, and Mutual of Omaha. That's 4 carriers. We call them the big 4. Americo, AIG, John Hancock, and Mutual of Omaha. Now keep in mind, you have to send Prosperity, your Prosperity link based on what comp level you're bringing them in at. You have to send that out to your agent. So now they'll have 5 carriers. Okay. They're then going to be prompted to go back to 8CMS. And on 8CMS, the other carriers that they're going to apply for is going to be AMAM, or what's also known as American Amicable, Foresters, Aetna, Great Western, Transamerica. That's it. They're going to see a bunch of other carriers on there. The only ones they need to apply for, AMAM, Foresters, Aetna, Great Western, and Transamerica. That's it. So you got a new agent that's starting that has, 9 or 10 carriers. You really don't need that many. You really don't. But then a bunch of people will start asking for a multitude of all these other carriers. They'll have 12, 13, 14 carriers, and they never write any business. That's all they need to get started. The other carriers are primarily doing IULs, IULE, those kind of things. You don't need them. You really don't, unless you're starting to get to that point. Amy, anything that you would add to that?
No.
Okay. You said that very reluctantly. Does anybody have any questions over anything that I just mentioned? Perfect. The last thing that I will add, Amy doesn't like when I do this, but you have a couple of states, and I'll mention those just because I think I have people in 2 of the states. AMAM has a sister company called Occidental. And I'm only telling you that, guys, this just so if you hear it, it's going to click back in your head that we've mentioned this. If you have agents that are in Iowa, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, Rhode Island, or Vermont, if you have any agents that are there, you need to make sure that you have a license in that state. Now, I say that to say this. If you have an agent in the state that's outside of your resident state, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get a non-resident license in that state. That list changes all the time. Some states say you don't have to have it. Some say you do. It's worth it to have it so that there are no questions and you get compensated, because there's nothing worse than helping somebody through a bunch of stuff in a state that you recruited them in and you're not getting compensated for it. That's just not smart, in my opinion. And we have videos on YouTube, NIPR video on YouTube that walks you through both getting your license initially and then if you're going to add a non-resident state as well. All right, we got done early today. I'll give you guys 15 minutes of your life back. Does anybody have any questions at all? Any questions, any concerns, anything we need to add, take away from this meeting? And then Amy, I'm gonna swing back to you one more time if we don't have any questions to see if you have anything to close out with. Anything that you're starting to see. All right, Amy, I'll swing to you really quick.
No, I mean, just the usual. Make sure you're getting your writing numbers in HCMS. I don't think I can say it enough. Last week on another agency, we had a couple compensation changes, and the agents did not have all of their writing numbers in HCMS. So those comp changes were not reported to those specific carriers who were not in HCMS. That's the importance, one of the important things about HCMS. If your numbers aren't in there and you do a comp change, it will not get reported to those carriers. So only the carriers that are in HCMS is who the comp change is going to get reported to.
And we try to help out with that too. As you guys are getting new carriers in, a lot of times, Amy, I'm not sure if you're copied in on it, but I know I am on most of them. I literally will then turn back around and send you another email, even though it came from the company. Make sure you get these companies in your net writing numbers into HCMS. And if it's one that Amy has to add, usually I just add her to all of them so she can see what's going on.
Yeah,
But
I don't ever get notified about the status
Yeah.
of people's contracts or when they get appointed.
Yeah. That's what, if I get anything, I usually send the email out again and copy Amy on there. So to try to help speed up the process. Because I'm telling you guys, it's going to get to the point where they're going to say, you're not an HCMS, you're just not going to get paid. So we're trying to be ahead of that curve, if you will.
And always know, you can reach out to the carriers yourself. I mean, I think that's the smartest thing you can do. Yeah, sometimes you're on hold for a while. But if you ever want to know the status of something or what your contract is with them, or if your comp increase has gone through, if they got your new state license added, I mean, always reach out to the carrier. That's your number one point of contact. I don't know all the things. Corporate doesn't know all the things. And sometimes it's easier if you just go straight to the source. I will help with whatever I can. I'm just saying, you can call the carriers as well. And I have all the phone numbers if anybody ever needs them.
Yep. Very good. Amy, thanks again for all your time. Thank you guys very much. Kaylee, welcome to the team. We're glad you're here. You guys know if you ever have any interviews or need somebody that you need me to talk to, just get them in front of me. I'm pretty good at getting people locked down or explaining the opportunity. But you guys have a ton of resources here to help you build, help you grow. And we're only a Slack or phone call away. So thank you guys very much. Have a good day and bye for now.